Welcome to Stargate SG1 for the first time, still not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Aiken, and I'm watching Stargate SG1 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Allen, and I'm also watching Stargate SG1 for the 47th time, but for the first time. I am going to be watching Stargate to try to look for what it is teaching us. You know, those lessons that hold up a mirror to society, give us hope that things can be better in the future, or sometimes just tell us how we can be better human beings to one another.
This week, Brent, we're watching Need. Now, last week, I made a prediction about what this is going to be about.
Yes.
And this one, Brent, is going to be about drugs.
That's what you said. Specifically, you said drugs and Daniel, and then you walked it back to something else.
Yeah, I figured, because Daniel's always the one who suffers when I think of my prediction, but Daniel's going to get hooked on drugs and whatever. But now I think we're going to meet a new system lord, or we're going to get the door opened to eventually meet a new system lord. But we're going to find out about basically the super soldiers they've created by making them dependent basically on Ketracel White, or the Jem'Hadar army who have a need for this drug. I'm eager to see just how close. I'm so eager. I can't wait. I need to get my fix and find out what this one is all about. Brent, tell us all about it.
Well, this is episode 5 of season 2, episode titled Simply Need. Original air date, July 24th, 1997. There is nothing else of note. Let's watch the episode, Jeff.
Let's do it.
For those of you watching for the very first time, welcome. You're about to watch the reaction video if you're hanging out with us on YouTube or on Patreon, with the unedited version there for you folks on Patreon. And if you want to find out more about that, just head over to patreon.com/Babylon5 first, or whatever the link is down below.
If you're listening to the audio version of this, you're about to travel into the future, and we'll be there waiting for you with open arms. And when we find you, I will share my for the first time reaction, while Brent will regale us with any of those sci-fi messages that he might have seen in this episode. Brent, let's make it so.
Have you read the memoir yet?
I bought it. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, Audible. Do the Audible version. It's him reading it. If you want to skip ahead, he talks about his idea for the ending of Picard, for like the last shot of what Picard was, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it tied everything together. And stupid studio said, yeah, we don't want to make that.
What?
Yeah. Hey, let's watch an episode.
Yeah, well, this is a Stargate podcast after all.
Yes. No, this is still not a Star Trek podcast, Jeff.
Honestly, for sure. Just trust us.
All right. I will confess, Jeff, it has been years since I've watched this episode. I'm not fully sure of what happened in this one.
Okay. I love the we've got it too, like the further away wide shots of the gate.
Uh-oh. You know what that is, Jeff, don't you?
That's the Ketracel. Those are Goa'uld.
Fancy box. It is Naquadah.
Oh.
Raw Naquadah is highly valuable to the Goa'uld.
SG3 brought a small amount of the raw element back last year. We could really use some, sir.
Well, maybe there's more.
Oh, if this is just about the need for Naquadah, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Or that's their Ketracel White.
Or maybe, yeah, they're doing, ooh, look at that. Maybe this is a new system lord.
Well, because, Jeff, I don't know if you remember, what was it that allowed Cassie to sense the Goa'uld in Sam?
It was the Naquadah in her blood. Mm-hmm.
And what is the gate made out of?
Naquadah.
Just saying. There's some Jaffa. Are any of them actual Goa'uld? Like, is that one right there with the hood up? Is that a Goa'uld, or is that a...
Look.
Ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Totally.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's a great call. That is good.
We should stop doing that.
Dude's just going to take a leak. Give him some little privacy.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Dude look like a lady. I don't think that's an acceptable, that's not an okay song anymore, I don't think.
Probably not. Yeah, not with today's sensibilities, no.
Yeah, let's...
But it is still catchy as all get out, though.
She's gonna jump.
Just a reminder, Daniel is still a married man, or is he?
Yeah, until death do you part, and is she dead? So she jumped, and he caught her. Did I see that right?
Yep.
No, wait. Please.
Uh-oh.
Stay away from the princess.
Jeff, you watched a lot of sci-fi over the years.
Uh-huh, a little bit.
They just looked at each other, and it went zoom, 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 zoom. What just happened?
Oh, they're in love.
Okay.
Or is it the whole like they did the mind thing that just happened?
The body switch. or I mean, it could have been anything. I'm not saying it was a body switch. I'm just saying it could have been anything. I just saw that and went, oh, they just switched bodies. Oh, that'd be interesting.
Oh,
anyway.
I totally read that as just the like, I'm immediately in love with you.
Oh, right. Okay, let's watch. She's literally sitting between his legs.
Well, I just literally grasp her out of the air.
Nothing compromising about that position right there.
So we got us a princess. But interesting, right? Because we got a big pyramid.
Yeah.
And in my experience, my very limited experience, it's what I now understand to be a system lord who gets those big old pyramids. So we've got that as a possibility. A bunch of Jaffa walking around and Naquita, quite the formula.
My father, Pyrrhus the God Slayer and ruler of this planet, wishes to know who you are.
We're explorers. Peaceful explorers.
Why you got big old guns?
Protect my daughter. No.
Who sent you?
I wonder if he can tell that she had the Goa'uld. That's why he's after her.
We're from a planet called Earth.
What Goa'uld rules there?
None.
Liar. Thieves. You would tell me the truth or you would die.
Tell you the truth, it's
Put
the
them in the
truth or
mine.
the truth you want to hear. Well, that's a little string of extreme punishment planets. You touch the princess. Go to the mines.
I don't think these are real Jaffa either.
How do you know?
Sir, I can't really explain it, but when he grabbed me, I just knew.
More of the effects that have
Sir,
the
I think
Goa'uld.
it has something to do with the Goa'uld that invaded me. Lately, I get this weird feeling when I'm near Teal'c.
Hey, who doesn't?
Well, I can sense the presence of a Goa'uld now.
All right, let's assume you're both right. How does that
So
help
still
us?
furthering the whole
Not sure.
Joel and our experience a little bit.
You will meet your quota for the day or you will not eat.
You know,
Yeah, their forehead thing is dramatically different than Teal'c.
You
It's like
will
it's a
work.
circle, it's black. It looks like the ones from Game of Thrones, like from the Faith Militant.
Right.
work.
They look painted on, and so does like the head covering. It doesn't
Also
look
looks
like it's a
painted on.
Yeah, that might have just been the lighting, but
I can't move anymore.
Put down your tools.
So just so you know, Jeff, I don't know if they've established it yet. They will at some point. The emblem on the forehead of the Jaffa are tattoos.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
Now Teal'c's is a little bit different, and he will eventually explain what is different about his and why his is the way it is. Because you'll notice like his is like an actual emblem like in his head, whereas the other people it's like drawn on. Sometimes Goa'uld have the emblem, sometimes it's tattooed.
Tattooed on.
It's tattooed on, and they'll explain what the difference of that is eventually. I think it's one of those things like they retcon it. Like if you look at the early episodes, they all have like what Teal'c has.
yeah.
And then, like, as the show goes on, they don't all have what Teal'c has. They just retcon into what it actually means, which actually I like what it means. I very much appreciate what it is.
okay, cool.
Now, with these guys, because they just said these aren't real Jaffa,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether this is tattooed or whether they, hang out with the Sharpie in the morning, we'll find out.
How does your leg feel now?
Oh, much better. Thanks.
Whoa!
Like how armor doesn't just do anything anymore.
This way.
Like stormtroopers, basically.
It used to repel bullets, and now it's like whatever.
Just does nothing.
He's alive.
This is really inappropriate what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Like father, like son.
You're not right.
That was messed up. That was
You are
messed
not
up.
right. You're not right.
Take off.
I will not put our world in jeopardy.
Are we going to count
When
that
you
as a
are gone,
Daniel
I
death
will have to
there,
make these
Jeff?
kinds of choices.
Maybe.
all the
I don't know
time.
yet. It said that a minute ago they said that he was still breathing.
Believe in me.
But that was a total looking at dead Daniel look on Jack's face.
Yep. I'm going to count it.
Count it until we're told not to. This princess totally has the 60s sci-fi girl thing of always talking like this and everything she said.
She's watched a little too much Stargate or Star Trek.
Oh, is that a sarcophagus?
Good call, Jeff. Good freaking call, man.
I know what this episode's going to be.
Go for it.
She's going to try to save Daniel because, like, you saved me, I saved you. But it's not going to work all the way, and he's going to basically like have to keep going back. I have to have a sarcophagus. I need a sarcophagus.
For what
That's going to
purpose?
be the thing. Oh, is he already in there? She already put him in. It's not his first time in a sarcophagus. Does he have silly clothes on?
What's going on?
You tried to escape. You were badly wounded.
Yeah, he's got like the.
Thank you. Why am I wearing it?
Yeah, it's
I took the liberty of providing you with royal robes. You may call me Shyla.
Shyla.
Well, you do realize it's also kind of rude to kidnap people and chain them up in a mine.
Please forgive me for not telling my father the truth about what happened by the cliff. He would not understand.
I'm not sure I understand, lady.
So, you're not Goa'ulds, but you're running a Naquita mine, and you've got yourselves a Goa'uld sarcophagus.
I just know I've done the right thing.
Which means you didn't.
That totally, that gives me Marty McFly vibes right there.
This just tells me I did the right
He
thing,
needed
Calvin.
medical attention.
I don't want to spoil this little rapport we seem to have going here.
That sounds almost romantic.
She's hoping.
Okay, here's the thing. Look, I'm very grateful to you that you saved my life and that you want to help me free my friends, but I'm sensing that you did it because you're,
Because you're my destiny.
Your density?
What?
Before she died, my mother and I used to come out here and take long walks at night. You can see every
Daniel,
star in the sky through
run.
the treetops.
Run!
What, the destiny thing?
She used to tell
Right?
me how a great man would come.
You've
from
seen the
beyond
relationship
sun.
she has with her dad. She's talking about destiny. GTFO.
Oh,
Quick.
I had come to believe my mother was wrong, that my true love would never come.
But here you are.
I stood on that cliff and I wished one last time, at exactly the right moment, you were there to save me, Daniel Jackson.
Whoops.
Right?
You cannot deny that is fate.
I won't be ignored, Daniel.
Hi, guys.
Hey, guys, funny story.
Surprisingly difficult to kill you, isn't it?
That's good.
Pleased to see you, Daniel Jackson.
The princess put me in it and saved my life because she has a crush on me. Yeah, actually, she thinks I'm her destiny.
It's a little more than a crush.
The whole
Right.
saving her life thing. I guess she was grateful after all.
Well, good job. How about getting the goons to unlock us and get us the heck out of here?
Right?
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, about that.
I'm sorry?
Well,
It's
it's kind of
complicated.
a sensitive situation. Pyrus hasn't exactly agreed to let you go yet. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to gain his trust.
Work faster.
Just trust me, okay?
Just kind of a golden child right now.
I need more time.
Glad you're okay.
Glad you're okay. I hope that guy dies. Again.
I kill a Goa'uld who ruled here
Quite the story.
And how long ago was that?
700 years.
So the people continue to worship your father because he's lived so long.
He became the thing.
They worship
he
him because
destroyed.
he liberated them from the evil god.
Then why does he still keep them working in the mine?
So the other distant evil gods won't come.
So this is a masquerade. You're sending Naquita through the Stargate because that's what the Goa'uld used to do. Well, no wonder you're so paranoid about strangers. I mean, you're afraid of being found out.
I must sleep.
About my friends.
Kill them.
Whoa!
What? No!
Do not worry about your friends. I have instructed the guards to treat them well.
The longer it takes to free them, the more time we have together. Right?
I admit, that is what I would like.
Well, then release my friends. I won't leave. I'll stay and get to know you better.
Oh man, that was a mistake, Dan. Don't even go an inch. Oh no!
I almost want to see like the purple wispy stuff go between their lips. You know?
Yeah.
Should I not have done that?
It's okay. It's just.
I'm married.
Maybe
Yeah,
still
I
not
have a
fully
wife
recovered.
that I'm still trying to find and save.
Trust me, and I will trust you. I promise.
That's fishy.
I wonder if she places the glasses in the sarcophagus, if it'll heal the glasses.
Right? That'd be nice. I still think the sarcophagus is pretty weak if it can't fix myopia. Nearsighted.
Well, I think the idea is the sarcophagus. Yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah, whatever it is should make the eyes better.
Yeah. That, by the way, would not be a very comfortable way to sleep for very long at all.
That close, it's like so close to his
SG1's
nose.
remote code,
There's
sir.
my
Hey,
guy.
there's your
He's
boy.
back.
We're travelers en route, but we are receiving another radio transmission.
Patch it through.
I just, at this point, like, I know his name. I'm waiting until you find out what his name is. Like,
He's my guy.
I think it's
That's right.
really deep into the show.
They're like, we should give this guy a name.
And I think like most characters like him, like he gets a last name and then sometime later you find out his first name, like way later. Like I'm not telling you, I'm just waiting.
What the hell's
But
going on?
regardless, he is the most important person in the Stargate universe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Look at his hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still working on getting you guys
Hey, look, he doesn't
out.
need his glasses anymore.
Oh, in the meantime, I've discovered something incredible.
It's called LSD.
You do know we're dying down here, don't you?
I've taken the opportunity to do a little research on the sarcophagus. It's amazing what it does to you if you use it when you're already healthy.
Gets you high
Is that such a good
AF.
idea?
Well,
Well, I can't get Charlotte to trust me if I don't show that I trust her.
Oh. Shyla, is it now?
hey, this is
Hey,
like
Basin.
the narco cop who's
And hey,
undercover
I've
who
used it
has to
before
take
without
the
any side
drugs.
effects.
Gets too deep.
Oh, no glasses.
That looks like a side effect to me.
There you go, Jeff.
He's got to
You
go in there
fixed
when
it.
you're good.
Oh, yeah, I'm working on it. I just need a little more time.
Oh my God.
Oh, I sent.
I
General
know
Hammond
this
another
guy.
message. Hopefully
You know what I
we'll
mean?
order an
Like,
all-out attack.
I know this guy.
Look, if we do this right, we will have access to all the Naquita and the sarcophagus.
And
How many times have you used it?
I don't know, 9 or 10. I mean, I feel like I could do anything.
One thing. You only have to do one thing.
Right?
And if you can't handle that, we're gonna break out of here without you.
We might break you on our way out.
She wants me to marry her.
you're already married. Yeah.
Look.
No, you look, Jack!
Sorry, it's not supposed to be funny.
I have got everything under control, okay?
I can quit anytime. And the guards are going easy on you. What more could you want? Come on.
I can help make it much easier to mine the Naquita, and we can defend you against the Goa'uld if you trust me.
Even after I used your friends to keep you close to me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did that. I forgot.
I don't think you meant any harm.
And then you will stay. Even after they are free.
I've never felt better anywhere in my life.
You know, he has that same change in
Always
his
felt out of
face
place
right
on my
now
planet. I
that
wanted to
Sam
make a
had when she was
difference.
Jolinar.
Yeah.
You
Just that
know?
hard kind
There's still
of.
so much you don't know about me.
His face actually looks very thin, like much thinner than it normally does. Not that he ever looks puffy or
I
anything,
know
but
all I need to.
We don't use the sarcophagus.
What?
Oh, that was weird. I was having a vision or something. I kept seeing the memory of Jolinar. The Resistance, the Tok'ra, they don't use the sarcophagus.
Does some programming thing probably on top of
Yeah,
healing you.
It does bad things to you. It changes your mind. Takes something from you.
The man who would be king.
Hi, Jack!
He's got jewelry now, and like he's just dressing up more and more each time.
We're losing the battle down there, you know.
Dad, you're doing great. Look how cool things are up here.
Carter's started having Goa'uld flashbacks. Says if you keep using that sarcophagus, you're going dark side on us.
Well, don't worry a bit. We're getting out of here tomorrow.
Don't know if we'll make
I
it to
agreed to
tomorrow.
marry her.
You did.
Remind him he's married.
I said I had to go home and straighten a few things out first, and you guys are coming with me.
You ever heard of ghosting, Jack?
She trusts you.
She loves me.
I must let Daniel go. Choice to return must be his.
Pretty mature.
But he will come back to me. He can't live without me anymore.
Just like you can't, old man. He just wants to die. He's tired.
You will always be welcome here.
Oh, cool. I can't wait to
And
come
will be
back.
treated with the utmost respect.
like never.
In a rare moment, Jack's like, I'm just not even going to say anything. We're just out.
Look at yourself. It's like you need a fix. You only used it a few times and already it's changed you.
Jeff, it is at this point that I would like to scroll back up in my notes here to where for the first time I actually wrote down what your prediction was for the episode. And what I wrote here was it's about drugs and it's Daniel.
And here we are.
And then you went off on some other thing.
Like I had
Your
it.
initial, you were like, I've never nailed these. I've never gotten any of these things right. So it's about drugs and it's about Daniel. No. It's about all this other stuff. It's about drugs. It's about Daniel.
It's about
I was like,
Daniel.
oh my gosh.
You're like, Jeff, stop talking. Stop.
Right?
General, I respectfully request permission to go through the gate to P3R6.
Request denied.
I wasn't asking you.
Daniel,
Dr. Jackson,
he's unconscious.
That's quick.
this is General Hammond. Code Red medical emergency in my office.
He's really on the ball with the code red. Hello, this is General Hammond. Oh, go ahead, I'll wait.
Are you there? How you doing? It's been a while.
Kidney function.
Hey, by the way,
Endorphins,
just so you know,
electrolytes, his myoglobin
got this
levels
thing?
indicate muscle deterioration.
Yeah, all right.
Here in the
whatever.
if it's not too much, if it's not too much trouble,
Yeah.
you know, if you
I mean,
got some
most you can
time.
do is try and treat the symptoms,
Got a
but
code red.
bottom line, he seems to be going through some kind of massive physical withdrawal.
Massive withdrawal.
I have to go back. You're killing me! Stop killing me!
Whoa.
Calm down.
Don't look away, Jack. He's gonna do it while you're not watching.
Hey, Daniel.
Dude, he looks like hell. That's what you get, Jack. You're not watching.
Are you trying to kill me?
Yes.
You're trying to kill me?
never wanted me to be happy. Now that I have love and you don't, you're going to take it all away. Man, some poor production assistant right now is just like, I got to pick all that up.
And how many times do they have to do this take? He did all that barefoot.
All the broken glass and stuff.
You want access to the mine, but you don't want to send troops in.
Send me.
I'm offering you a shot at a diplomatic solution. Please, Jack.
We can back him up, sir.
So Daniel thinks he can just go
I'd like
talk
Daniel
to her?
back on the team.
Because she crazy.
Right.
And if that works. Really? Oh, you're back.
I do not believe you would ever return.
Mm-hmm.
I just wished right now that if you were to come, you would come now, and here you are.
Mm-hmm.
About everything.
You never did love me, did you?
I wouldn't be here if I didn't care.
That doesn't answer the question. I mean, it's
I don't
nice.
deserve
But...
to live after what I've done to you.
Your people need you, and you may still be able to lead them without turning into what your father became. You can't use this anymore. It's gonna be bad. Trust me.
I know.
But you don't have to do this alone.
He's able to say that because he didn't have to do it alone. Because Jack reached out, connected,
Right.
took time. Now Daniel's doing the same. Maybe instead of blasting it, you should take it back to SGC and, I don't know, study it?
All right, Jeff. You've just watched the episode Daniel Does Drugs.
Mm-hmm.
It is Stargate's after school special. What are your thoughts?
Well, you just wrapped it up. I'll just read you my final note. In case you didn't know, drugs are bad. That's the episode. Right. So, but I mean, I don't know. This was an okay episode. I think after the last couple that we've watched, this is an up for me. I was really worried at the end they were going to drop the ball again and have it fall apart. They did a good job ending this one, I think. I would have done a couple of things differently. It's kind of weird to me. So learning more and more about Naquadah and how powerful this thing can be. A couple episodes ago, we learned Cassandra had it in her blood, and she was able to sense the Goa'uld, sense Jolinar in Sam. We've also learned that Jolinar is still kind of in Sam. Like the spirit is still there.
Well, it's not just the spirit. Do you remember
memories.
what happened? No. Do you remember what happened to Jolinar?
He got absorbed into her.
Absorbed into her. Yeah.
So Jolinar lives on in Sam.
Yeah, this wasn't that Jolinar died and came out of Sam. Jolinar was absorbed into Sam.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
And so we saw in the Gamekeeper how that now like impacts psychic stuff, or whatever with the way the brain works. And then now she's actually having memories and flashbacks.
Yeah.
And this miracle piece of technology, the sarcophagus that we've been learning about, turns out not so much of a miracle. Reminds me of opiates, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, these are great. You take this, things don't hurt, you can heal, you feel so much better. Oh, shoot. Yikes. That was not a good call. They thought it was fantastic. What I liked about this, there's a lot of things I liked about this one. Man, I should have a lot of great notes. I thought it was interesting. We kept saying this during the episode. So Daniel is with this Princess Shyla, and she is one. Stay. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Yeah.
Back away from the psycho princess. But Daniel doesn't. And at no point does anybody like, bro, you're married. Remember the whole first season when we're like, let's go find Sha'Ray, and you're just doing. It took like nearly the end of the episode for Sam to be like, remember this? You did? Yeah. But aside from that, I loved the metaphor, the analogy for drugs with the sarcophagus. I love that the sarcophagus isn't just a miracle anymore. It's not just some Deus Ex Machina. Oh, he died, and we can do this, and everything's fine again. It's like, no, there's a price to pay to use it. Enjoying the stuff with Sam and Jolinar. That's getting really interesting. My favorite thing in this whole episode, though, this is 2 in a row. Michael Shanks.
Yeah.
God, he's good.
Yeah.
He's so good. I made the note really early on. Just his facial acting when he was just starting to get hooked. So the SG1 crew is down in the mines and they're working. And he came down once to be like, hey guys, I'm trying. Gonna make everything cool. If you'll excuse me, I have to go have a feast in my honor. Sorry, you're not getting anything to eat. See you later. Next time he comes, he's high as a kite. He is flying, feeling no pain at all. And it was so believable. His mannerisms, his cadence and his pitch and his voice was so good. But the coup de grace, the moment that was so well done and powerful, was his detox. If you have never seen a person go through the DTs, if you've never detoxed yourself, I am here to tell you it is one of the most horrifying things you can imagine. I've never had to DT myself, but I've seen it happen, and it's almost impossible to even watch, let alone experience. And I don't know if Shanks has a history with drugs or knew people or something, but he was so on point with how this went down.
Yeah.
A little while ago, as part of my day job, I have the opportunity to tour different types of care facilities, ranging from long-term care to memory care and sometimes addiction recovery care.
Right.
And I don't know, a year or so ago, I mean, we're still kind of in the midst of COVID times, so I don't know, recently somewhat, I got to tour a location that does addictions counseling, inpatient recovery work here in Oregon. And so I got to tour the whole place and see what was going on and ask a lot of questions. But they have a hospital wing that normally the public can't see, but I wasn't there as the public, so I got to watch. And that hospital wing is where people go to detox.
Yeah.
And so I got to watch multiple situations. And what I learned was different drugs have different protocols for detoxing. Like for alcohol, you do this. For meth, you do this. For coke, you do this. And the doctors there were telling me they've got drugs pretty dialed down. Like they know if you came in and you did these things or this combination of things, they know how to give you the treatment that'll get you detoxed as quickly and as painlessly as possible. I can tell you from watching that quick and painlessly is still inhumanly painful looking.
Right.
But we got this new drug that's out on the street, fentanyl, right? We all know, we've all heard the stories about fent, and it's out there. If you're near a major metro area, you've seen the people, out there doing stuff. It's horrible. And at least here, I can't speak for other areas, but in the Portland metro area where I live, like that's where like fentanyl people using that and overdosing on that are filling up our addiction counseling areas. And they were explaining how they have no idea how to put a protocol together for it yet. They're trying stuff out. They're trying to figure out an approach, but they don't know. And one of the scariest movies ever for me, but I think just period, was or is The Exorcist.
Right.
Horrifying movie. And a lot of it are those effects. You've got Linda Blair climbing, on the ceiling and walking backwards down the stairs and throwing up and her head turning around. That was the dude I saw detoxing from fentanyl. And it was horrifying. I mean, horrifying to see. But this made me think of not only the incredible acting from Michael Shanks and how it was so real, like everything. And the moment he broke, when Jack was like, "You don't have to do this, man. Like I know this is hard. You don't have to be alone." And like he broke and he cried and he's like, "That's all I needed to hear." It was so real.
Right.
But I also love the way the sarcophagus really is fentanyl, where we don't know. We literally just from Sam learned that it's literally sucking your soul or your Teal'c, like they call it Teal'c, out of you. It's taking your life force away while healing you. But it's this new drug really that we got to figure out how to work. I think my big beef in this episode, aside from the acting for Princess Shyla, which was lacking a little bit, but I don't want to put that all on the actor. I'm sure direction had a lot to do with it. But my beef is they realize the sarcophagus is bad news. And so he goes back to help, kind of get her taken care of, get her on the throne, put her on a path to save this planet and free all these people. And he's like, that sarcophagus has to go. So she grabs the staff and blows it up. And it's like, oh, hooray. No, man, you are the whole mission of SGC is to grab technology and study it. We know this sarcophagus is wildly powerful, and we also know you have to pay a powerful price, a high price for it. Take that sucker back, rip it apart, start seeing how that was a huge, and especially from Daniel. Like Daniel's always the one like, hey, we can get this. What if we look at this? What if we do that? But you're holding like the biggest thing and you just let it go. I get the dramatic effect, but I felt like that was pretty off brand for Daniel. And it was a huge disappointment for the whole mission of the SGC. But all in all, like, I don't know if it's just the recency bias of the last couple episodes, but this is a pretty decent one. What about you? What kind of sci-fi messages did you pull out of this?
Don't do drugs, kids.
They're bad.
Don't do drugs. They bad. Honestly, I got the George Lucas story out of this one, right? Don't become that thing which you hate. You know, George Lucas's whole thing was he went and created Lucasfilm because he didn't like the way that movie studios handled stuff and how they rejected stuff and didn't allow, you know, they didn't fund the smaller projects. And so he went and created his own movie studio. So fine, I'll go do it myself. And now he is one of those movie studios and people come to him with scripts and he has to say no. And he has become that thing which he does not like. You become the thing that you have fought against when you do the things that those you fought against do. We know Daniel, right? Like we know Daniel, we know his heart, we know where he is, we know he's a good dude. But what ultimately really mattered for him were the choices he made. He didn't choose to get into that sarcophagus the first time. She put him in there. He chose to get back in, right? He chose to keep going in. When addiction settled in, and by the way, addiction is awful. Addiction is awful. Do you know how I define addiction? I think this is probably the best definition of addiction I've ever heard. It's
a great definition.
When you're in your right mind, it's the thing you don't want to do, but yet you wind up doing it anyway. When Daniel was in the midst of his addiction, because that's what it was, and it was changing him, he was not able, like he was beholden to the addiction. He was acting out of the addiction. That wasn't Daniel. That was the addiction. Addiction is very insidious. And it's really easy to play. Oh, well, it's him, it's them, it's them. Yeah, addiction is so insidious with how it gets in. And you could never see, like you often don't see it coming. And it's real easy not being addicted to judge people who are addicted. You know, well, look, I never put that needle in my arm. Nobody ever told you had to, you know, sniff that stuff up your nose or you had to whatever. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
One of my favorite analogies, I've shared before, I manage a program that handles criminal background checks.
Yeah.
And we're able to, you know, basically do some critical thinking and analysis to things. And generally speaking, people with criminal history tend to fall into one of three categories. Like there are people that are bad actors and want to hurt other people. And frankly, that's a very small amount of people out there.
Yeah.
The second largest group of people are people who are expressing their addiction in criminal ways. Mm-hmm. And the third group are idiots, right? People who just made stupid decisions at the wrong time. And I've brought in a lot of people in recovery, counseling and things like that to help me and my staff really understand what that means to have the disease of addiction and have it expressed. This is the key word, to express that disease in a criminal or harmful manner. And the way they described it was they compared addiction to diabetes.
Yeah.
So there are people who express the disease of diabetes by ignoring all the doctor's orders, not taking insulin, eating all the stuff they want to eat. And those people have lost toes, fall into comas. Like there's stuff. And so, but what we tend to do, right, is tell people exactly what you said. Hey, no one told you to eat that candy bar. No one told you to eat that sugared cereal. No one told you to stay sitting down all day and do this stuff. Like we all know the risk factors that lead to diabetes.
Right.
But every single one of us still engages in at least some of those risky behaviors. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing when it comes to addiction. We know the risk factors, right? Don't put that needle on your arm. Don't put that stuff in your nose. But we all engage in the things that can lead to that. And there are a million things that can go wrong. And hey, you know what? I was 16 once. Shoot, I was 24 once, and I was literally on the road as a musician.
Yep.
Stuff happens, and somebody's like, here's this thing, and you're like, okay. And for most people, cool. That's one night. It's one thing. You got a story to tell. I have a couple stories to tell, but all good. But for every, 10 of you, me, there's one person who is like, actually, this is going to be my every night now. And not necessarily because I like it, but because I have to do it. So this isn't people making, ultimately everything is people making choices. But like you said, they're not in their right mind. This is a disease. And just like I talked about trauma the other time, that when you're in your trauma, your logic brain doesn't work. When you're in addiction and you're expressing your addiction, your logic brain doesn't work. And the worst thing you can do is be like, you suck, you put the needle in your arm again, and you're a bad person. Because that's just going to make them want to put the needle in their arm even more.
Well, and that's the messed up chemistry in their brain. All of that being said, you are still responsible for the decisions and the actions that you make. Again, when you do the things that the people that you hate do, you become the people that you hate. It's pretty simple. When Daniel started doing what they did, he started dressing like them, and not just using the sarcophagus, but he started going along with everything that they were doing. He became that which he hated, or that maybe not even hate. That might be a little bit of a strong word. So that's really where I go with that. You know, it's what I see. But mostly at the end of the day, it is a discussion on addiction. It's a discussion on drugs. It's a discussion on all those things, plus a lot of lore getting dumped on us, which I thought was really great. The sarcophagus is bad news. They kind of gave us an in-universe reason for why the Goa'uld might be the way they are, other than they're just a bunch of assholes, which is an interesting idea. You know, I think I was said in a couple episodes ago, like with the Borg, once you find out about them and you learn about them, the scary is all gone. What happens when you learn about what the Goa'uld are, what makes them tick, how they got to be the way they are, all of a sudden it's like, oh, actually that makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, they're just people.
Do you have some compassion now for them? Maybe like, oh, those poor guys.
Yeah. Well, and they're also still a bunch of assholes that we got to kill. Like, and not just kill them, because like if we don't, they will kill us, kind of a thing, you know. And does that even make it right? Does that even make it right?
Right.
So anyway, all of that to say, I think this was very replete throughout the episode. I think it's what the writers meant when they started writing this episode. Jeff, can I give it less than 5? Really? Chevrons? I mean, it's pretty there all the way through. I kind of don't want to, but what do you think?
This is an episode most, not even sci-fi, most television does. Yeah. This episode.
Yeah.
And honestly, it usually doesn't do it very well.
Mm.
You know, I think of the Star Trek: The Next Generation episode.
The game?
No, not the game. The one I think it was first season, because Tasha Yar was in it.
Okay.
And you've got the two dudes.
The Naked Now?
No, it was after that. But there's two dudes, and they're trying to, God, I can't remember the name of it. But they're trying to synthesize some drug they say is a medicine, but it turns out it's just what everybody's addicted to. And there's a scene. Yeah, there's a scene on the bridge where Wesley Crusher's like, I don't understand why people would take something that's bad like that and put it in their bodies. Tasha Yar has just this incredibly written line. Sometimes drugs make you feel good. Yeah, but maybe we could take a different approach. Now we get. I think of the episodes that are out there that really address this, which they are legion. There's so many of them, and they worked so well, right? I mean, let's look to the 80s and 90s and just how well that message was received by my generation. But that aside, this was one of the better ways to deliver it. This was entertaining. Yeah. They really leaned into the sci-fi of the whole thing that made it very on the nose, but in an entertaining, wrapped up way. I think this is almost a thing of like, there's the intent of the message, there's the throughput of the message, the power of the message, but also it was delivered in a very Stargate way.
5 chevrons, Jeff. I mean, it was right there. I was having a hard time giving it less, but I kind of didn't want to. But yeah. It's there.
Yeah, that totally works. It makes sense. As another point, we do on our tracker have 1 Daniel death to add.
1 Daniel death. We do. To update that tracker, then, that means that we now are up to 3 Daniel deaths, 3 death scenes, or apparent death scenes. I will take apparent. He get crushed by rocks. That's an apparent death scene, right? Like, I'll take it.
And I got to own, just because this is for the audio podcast side, because this happened during the episode, but so they're in the mines down there, and Daniel gets crushed under a bunch of rocks, and I went way over the line, but I'm going to do it again because I'm sorry. I'm not wrong.
You're awful, Jeff. You're awful.
I am. The timing was just horrible for how they did this.
All right, hold on. Let me set the stage. Yeah. All right, we're watching the episode. Daniel's in the cave. He's talking. Suddenly there's a cave in. It all falls on Daniel, and Daniel's buried under the rubble. And Jeff says,
like father, like son.
You're awful.
That's so bad, but not wrong.
Awful, Jeff.
I'd like to apologize to a lot of people.
I also want to just update. We have we are currently up to 11 for crying out louds. 11 crying out louds, and yeah.
This is the 27th episode of the show. So just we're a little under half of the episodes have had one.
Yeah. Well, and some episodes have had like 2 or 3. So there's a line that comes up in 50% of the episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know,
you keep track of that thing.
All right, Jeff. So I got 5 chevrons. Where are you ranking this one, man? You got to put it on the ranking for those of you who are wondering at home where we currently sit with season 2. Number 1 is Serpent's Grasp and Serpent's Lair, that duology from the end of last season, beginning of this season. Number 2 is In the Line of Duty. Number 3 was Gamekeeper. Number 4 is Prisoners. Jeff, this is going to crack our top 5, at least for right now. The question is, where in the top 5 are you placing it?
I always love this part of the season because it's just like as we build the top 5, as we build the top 10, you know, and then it just kind of becomes like all the episodes. But like we're going to have a top 5 now.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting. Last 2 weeks, Gamekeeper last week, Prisoners before that, I was very disappointed. There were episodes that had neat ideas, good premises, and then lost it in the end to different degrees, but they lost it. And I thought in this one that we were going to lose it in the end again, that you got crazy princess lady over there, and Dale's just going to be like, hey, you should do this thing. And she's going to be like, yeah, you're right, okay. But they actually did it beautifully. They did it really well. Daniel showed up, really connected with her, was very compassionate. Hands down, this is our new number 3 episode because they finally ended an episode in a decent way.
All right. Well, with that then, Jeff, that is going to put a button on it. That's going to wrap us up here for this episode. Need. Now, Jeff, you want to know what we're watching next week?
I'm a little nervous about it, but yeah.
All right. You're never going to guess what this one's about. I'm actually really excited to hear what you think this one's going to be. The name of this episode is called, you ready for it? Thor's Chariot.
Didn't we just have an episode, Thor's Hammer?
We did back in season 1. And this is Thor's Chariot.
And in that episode, the 20 minutes of actual episode that they put into a 42-minute long episode, man, I just don't let things go with this. Like,
you really don't. Yeah.
But the that was the one with the labyrinth, right? So there was the labyrinth that led
James
to
Earl Jones was the Unos, the first one.
Yes, yeah. But the whole thing was the Goa'uld hadn't been there because they had this hammer thing.
Yeah.
And Daniel had to destroy the hammer to save Teal'c.
Right.
Okay. They don't have the hammer anymore. Here come the Goa'uld. This is gonna be we're gonna come to the planet in media res, right? We're gonna go and there's gonna be Goa'uld there, and there's gonna have been a battle. In fact, the people on the planet are gonna be, what's the planet called?
Samaria.
It had a name. Samaria, right?
Samaria. Yeah.
Samaria. Okay. The Sumerians are gonna be getting rocked pretty good, and the job the SG1 is going to take when they go in there is to help them evacuate, and they're not going to be able to get to the Stargate to do it. They can get only a small group to the Stargate. It's either they can get some of the Sumerians out, or they can get SG1 out to the Stargate. What they're going to do is help them build a ship, a Thor's Chariot, if you will, for them to leave the planet and basically cede it to the Goa'uld to get out of there, and then SG1 will be able to escape back to the SGC, which will plant that planet as a new Goa'uld stronghold that will reverberate through the season, I think. I felt like this Thor stuff was pretty important when it came up.
Possibly.
I'm going to stick with that, especially now that we already have in this next season, like 10 episodes later, maybe a little more than that. But
well, Jeff, you're a good guesser.
Oh, well, thanks.
And we'll find out exactly what happens next week right here on Stargate SG1 for the first time. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget, wherever you are, please like, subscribe, rate, review, all that sort of stuff. Wherever you are, do it. Make sure you share this video, this podcast, this whatever you're consuming this in, with people you know that love Stargate SG1, or people who, like Jeff, need to get to know what Stargate is all about. So until next time, guys, thank you so much.
Hey, man.
We'll come back.
Hey, man, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm okay.
You good? You good?
I'm good.
Yeah, man, that's cool. Yeah, I'm feeling better than ever. I'm feeling so good.
Are you okay?
can you help me out a little bit? I really need a sarcophagus. So bad.
Crying out loud. Hit the freaking button, please.